Hi, this is my video presentation of BMW supply chain. Let's get into it. BMW, or their name, Bavarian Motor Works, is based out of Bavarian, Germany with offices around the world, and they are known for their luxury vehicles and motorcycles, coining the phrase ultimate driving machine, which is what BMW tries to produce. Luxury cars that aren't just your standard luxury cars. They can be for performance as well, like with racing series across the world as well, to prove the ultimate driving machine. Their company operates facilities across Europe for production. They have United States facilities as well, and in Asia, with the US growing market and having a major factory down in South Carolina in the Spartanburg area, with constantly upping their production. And their supply chain goals are kind of clear. It's reduce the lead times, ensure sustainable and ethical sourcing is happening, because that is what they are pushing towards. They're rapidly trying to push towards sustainability and making sure that their supply chain does not hurt the environment. Their supply chain flow. BMW's supply chain begins with raw materials such as aluminum and lithium, which particularly for electric cars, which again the world is pushing toward because of sustainability. And these materials will flow to their manufacturing plants in Germany, plants in South Africa, they have plants in China, and manufacturing plants in the United States. From there, vehicles are moved to regional distribution centers. BMW highly relies on third-party logistics partners for global transportation, which, a little insight, because I live near the BMW factory back home in South Carolina, they use Benore Logistics Systems to transport a lot of their raw materials and parts to that main factory in Spartanburg. Constantly, you'll see trucks piling in there each and every day, to which it's also helped Benore grow their operations in South Carolina because of the BMW contract. But they do a lot of third-party vending. Even FedEx occasionally goes in there, from what my dad tells me whenever he has to go make a delivery, but they use a lot of third-party vendors. While just-in-time and just-in-sequence manufacturing are ensured for efficiency, cross-docking helps reduce their need for warehousing and technology tools like transports and warehouse management systems. Domestic logistics in Europe. Well, Europe is BMW's home market, specifically Germany. That is where you'll see a lot of European government organizations will use BMW cars, because they're reliable, dependable, and can have some performance if they need them. And its proximity. All of Europe can be connected by trains, which is a lot easier for international transport, because you can transport it on a train or a vehicle. You don't have to fly everything. You don't have to go overseas to get your cars to European markets. And that's enabling you quick standards, while the United States, you're having to get them parts, the resources, the materials to create their stuff, and then try to build the cars to sell in the United States and other parts of North America, to where it does take a little while longer because they're not as connected. And like Europe, they have like their own plants or whatever that can produce a bunch of cars. The United States, they have to produce for most of North America, because like BMW doesn't have, I don't believe they have any plants in Canada or Mexico. So having to use the United States for kind of the Western world, and then China, well, their factories there are to cover the major markets in Asia and slowly move them along. But it doesn't go without saying that the tariffs of international markets do affect BMW a bit, because now you're having to balance cost with production and diversify your risks. Then you have their ethical sourcing. Like I said, BMW is pushing towards renewable energy and lowering their emissions. They're trying to be net zero, I believe, by 2030. So with that in mind, like, they're already trying to figure out how to make their supply chain net zero. And that comes with your sourcing. Like, in a core of BMW supply chain is ethical sourcing. Like, you have to run a supply chain with compliance of your labor laws, human rights, and environmental standards. Like, you can't just mine a bunch of cobalt in a cobalt mine and be like, oh, hey, that's cool, and all that stuff. No. You have to figure out how to get your resources like the cobalt and lithium for your electric batteries and how to make those sustainable, because when those batteries are done and the life is gone out of them, they are completely useless. Like, you can't reuse those batteries ever again. And people ask, well, why does it matter? It matters because you're trying to push your brand out there. And like BMW, they push for transparency. They push to track material origins. They care about the digital and the footprint they make from their carbon emissions. They care about that a lot. Like, that is a major priority for them, is to lower their carbon emissions. Then you have your sustainability goals. It's not just an add-on, it's a competitive advantage for BMW. They're aiming to reach carbon neutral like by 2030, as I previously stated. And they're constantly trying to reuse recycled aluminum, recycled steel, and building a circular economy, per se, for their electric vehicle production. But that's not to say without risk. The auto industry has always been heavily criticized of how they use unethical means to get materials for their cars, which is true. Back in the day, people didn't really care about it, so you got it from wherever. Well, all of a sudden, the world starts turning to protecting the environment. Now, all of a sudden, you're in trouble on, oh, hey, this is not healthy for the environment, and you continue to do this. And yet, BMW here, as their goals are already trying to push for sustainability and net zero, are making strides and gains to keep their work up to be compliant by 2030. Then you get to like their compliance regulations. Like, you're operating globally. It's not just one set of laws. Like, they're based out of Germany. You're not just going to have to follow the German laws. You have to follow European laws like the EU. You have to follow the United States laws. You have to follow laws set by countries of Asia. Even their South Africa plant, like, they have to follow the laws of countries in Africa. Like, it's not just one set of laws. And so BMW, being international, they'll adhere to Incoterms 2020 regulations, this giving them clarity with shipping. For the United States, they'll use the C-TPAT security program. Like the EU has their own battery regulation for vehicles, so they're compliant with that. And then finally, they also do follow the ISO 14001. While that does provide you a good framework for environmental management, it also can put you at risk, because if you're not compliant, you can lead to fines, shipment delays, and brand damage. So like I said earlier, BMW is invested in transparency. This is why that transparency becomes important, because when the audits come and everybody asks questions about where you're getting your materials and how are you being sustainable, BMW already trying to have the transparency open door policy. This goes along with them. It's not like oh no, we got to figure out how to clean it up. It's no, we are continually trying to get better and lower our emissions to make it better for us. We're not trying to catch up. No, we're trying to stay ahead, have that competitive advantage we have by putting the groundwork in early. And then so you have your logistics and optimization. Digitalization is transforming cars around the world as we know it today. Every car is slowly becoming smart cars. Everyone has a touch screen in their center console now that you can access maps, do some text messages now. which I don't recommend. Texting and driving should never go. You can access phone calls now. So everything is becoming smart and you're having to optimize your technology. Well, now with that, you're using that technology for your logistics optimization. You're using predictive analytics to improve your forecasting, and you use your smart factories to reduce your time on creating stuff, but also reducing your production time and reducing excess inventory, like what's not selling, what do I need to make more of. An example of like the reduction in time, BMW had a factory in Europe reduce lead time from 12 weeks to 8 weeks. And then like with the optimization, their EV battery recycling was able to cut costs, but now you are able to enhance your reputation as a sustainable luxury brand. And then like strategic alignment, BMW Group, you have Mini, you have Rolls-Royce, like you have several groups in your BMW group to align, have a better competitive advantage, get into a different market. But like when you're going at the supply chain, you're able to integrate efficiency, ethics, and your global competitiveness, because yes, you're an international brand. You're competing against cars in North America. Like a luxury car could be not a Camaro, Corvette by General Motors, Ford, the Mustang now. Europe, you have Porsche, Aston Martin. You have Asia, you have Toyota and their supercars. You have Audi, Volkswagen. Like you're competing against brands all around. So having the reduced costs and being able to respond to the market effectively is important in their alignment. And then like what sets them apart, again, going after goals of what the world wants today, sustainability. By committing to it, you're saying, hey, we're being responsible here. Yes, our car might be a little pricey, but you know we are doing it by ethical means. We're not harming the environment. We're giving a good, ethically and environmentally sound car for y'all to drive. So like that's a major reason why it's important of that. And then finally, excuse me. Looking ahead, strategic recommendation from BMW is expanding in Eastern Europe and North America, because BMW is growing in popularity. I mean, as they continue to push more and lead the charge for car manufacturers going to environmental strengths to protect the earth, it's growing their reputation. It gets more people on board with it. And then being able to grow and like try to outsource more in different areas of the world, it can put less of a strain on certain countries. Like say you're mining lithium somewhere in Asia. Well, say if you're able to find or refine it in Europe or North America, well now suddenly you're able to cut down transport time. And then like wrap it all up, BMW strategy basically supports growth, but it supports sustainability. Like the BMW is after efficiency, sustainability, and they are trying to be ethically responsible. They're trying to lead the way and show, hey, we can make cars the right way and that are environmentally friendly for the earth. Thank you.